Fitness can seem very complicated and messy at times. And a lot of times this complication is completely worthless and needless. It doesn't help you. In fact, it wastes a lot of time, energy, and money while holding you back and limiting your potential. So in today's episode, I'm going to be addressing 4 major sources of needless complication in our fitness culture and the 4 things that are going to propel you forward while saving you a lot of time and energy as well. So welcome back to my channel, my friend. I'm Matt Schifferly. Before we jump in, I just want to remind you that I have a new video series coming out starting December 1st, 24 days of making fitness easier, simpler, and a heck of a lot more effective. So make sure you're subscribed, notifications, all that sort of thing, because every day will be a new short form video with a tip to make everything about health and fitness a lot easier and more effective for you. So needless source of complication number 1, too many programs out there. It's like every time you go online, there's new things coming down the pipe. There's 1,000 different things going on in the gym and you're running around going, well, what's the one I need to be following? And we end up program hopping. And this is extremely detrimental because when we're switching things around, or worse, not even taking action because we're trying to research and figure out that perfect program, that's actually holding you back from the very thing that does produce results, which is consistency. And it's not about consistency even of staying on a program, but consistency of a stimulus. Because ultimately your results don't come from the program you follow. I don't care if it's high volume, low volume, split training, full body, all that kind of stuff. It really, honestly, is not that important. Instead, a good program is, can you just consistently create the type of stimulus you want for the adaptations you want to incur? The easiest way to figure this out is you gain that which you challenge. Challenge your strength, you're going to get stronger. Challenge your stamina, you build endurance. Challenge power, you become explosive. Challenge your muscular work capacity, pushing your muscles close to failure, you're going to stimulate muscle growth. Whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, isn't really that important. Just can you stick to it and make that happen on a consistent basis? And that's the thing that's going to produce the better results you can actually keep. Complication point number 2, conflicting advice everywhere. It's like every time you're trying to figure out just a simple answer to anything in fitness, there's all sorts of ideas and opinions out there on the internet and social media saying, oh, it's the best thing ever. And someone else says, no, it's terrible. You're going to kill your gains and everything in between. And you just run back and forth between them like a squirrel going between both sides of the road, ultimately going nowhere. So here's the thing that you need to understand is that everyone else's ideas and opinions out there on the internet and social media, including my own, really don't matter very much at all. That's because by far the most important ideas and opinions and beliefs are yours, because your ideas and beliefs are the ones that are going to determine your habits, your consistent actions, what you do. I can believe all day long and tell my opinions about how calisthenics is wonderful, but if you don't like calisthenics and you would rather do anything than do push-ups, then you should follow that opinion, not mine. Because how you feel about what you're doing and what your opinions are is going to determine your actions and therefore your success. Complication source number 3, dietary dogmas. These things are so pervasive and persuasive in our fitness culture, it's almost assumed naturally that if you're looking to get in shape or lose some body fat or even just be healthy, that you're supposed to be following some sort of a diet. Well, as someone who's struggled with diets and disordered eating habits for much of my young life, I can certainly tell you that is absolutely not true at all. You can certainly use diets if you like, or as a template and stuff like that. But ultimately, no diet is at all in any way, shape, or form necessary. If you have medical conditions or personal interests or something personal like a part of a religious practice or something, that's great. But don't let the dietary ideologies and dogmas try to convince you that you'd better be following this diet. You'd better not be eating these foods, because it's ultimately not true. If that were true, then the only people throughout the entire course of human history who were ever lean, healthy, and fit would have only followed that diet. But that's certainly not the case. In fact, the majority of people who lose body fat or be healthy. There's no single dietary approach that's consistent amongst any of them. So you just flat out don't need diets. You just need to have some basic guidelines you follow. Make sure you're getting plenty of nutrient-dense foods, satisfying your nutritional desire, appetites, hunger, metabolic support, and yeah, even a little bit of hedonic support as well. Make sure that your foods are nutrient-dense and focusing on some protein and fiber and plant-based foods and things like that. And anything outside of that is just your call. But you certainly don't need to follow any of these fad diets that are coming out there. And chances are most of them aren't really going to get you much closer to your goals than if you just kind of did things your own way anyway. But I know that advice kind of falls a little bit on like a shaky ground because of the fourth source of complication, which piggybacks off all three of these, which is the fear of doing it wrong. And this fear is very persuasive in our fitness culture because all the programs out there are saying this is the right thing to do. Everything else is wrong. This is the diet you need to follow. Everything else is wrong. And this is the opinion and advice you need to follow. Everything else is wrong. And that's just simply not how fitness works. There's no black and white in many areas of fitness. Sometimes there's a couple safety issues or something like that. But by and large, fitness isn't something you need to get right. You just need to head in the general right direction, like following a needle on a compass. You don't need to know exactly how many steps am I supposed to take to the tree. You just need to know I gotta head due south or something. As long as you're going in the general direction you want to head into, you can do whatever the hell you want, whatever diet you want, whatever workout program you want. That's the most important thing, because only requirement of very specific programs and ideas are if you have very specific goals. But in general stuff like losing body fat, building muscle and strength, and just feeling better, you can do general stuff, and that's certainly going to work fine for you. And a lot of the details and doom and gloom that the experts and the influencers are saying, oh, you don't want to get it wrong, they're just not really playing with a full deck. So pick a program that you can consistently follow to create the stimulus you want. Follow your own advice and use everybody else for ideas and inspiration. You don't need to follow a diet if you don't want to. Just eat relatively healthy to satisfy your appetites, and don't worry about getting it wrong, because as long as you follow those 3 points, you're going to be in the ballpark of doing things very well for a long period of time and getting what you want out of it. Be fit, live free.